You can hear me. Okay. All right. Alex Beard is my techno guru. So you can hear me. Okay, good deal. All right. So here we go. So part of the reason why I wanted to show you the hardware was because of the beautiful patina that I saw on it. It was absolutely spectacular. And here's what was interesting. When I went over to buy the piece because I fell in love with the hardware, it was sold. Why do you think that person bought the hardware? Because they fell in love with, I mean, while they bought that piece of furniture, they fell in love with the hardware too. It made it spectacular. And so that's what I'm wanting you to see today. So many times we focus on the piece of furniture where we labor over the finish, what we want to do, what it's going to look like, and we really don't pay a whole lot of attention to the hardware. So let's go over this. What is a verdigris finish? A verdigris finish is simulating something that was copper. Let's go back. They started using copper and the process of metals back over 4,500 years ago. Um, Answer your question, Danny, can you use it on metal tiles? Yeah, you can use this on metal tiles. You can use this on furniture. You can do this on hardware. You can use this on lamps. You can use it on metal. You do want to make sure that it stays indoors, but you can create this finish on a lot of different things. But I want to give you part of the art history behind this. And the fact that, let's go back to the Egyptians, 4,500 years, they're starting to incorporate what? Copper. They're incorporating copper, but copper is a very soft metal. And the fact that they would start using it in combination with bronze. So they were melting bronze and copper. But then let's fast forward. We've got a lot of documentation of that copper being used, and it would go and it would turn to that gorgeous color as it would age, as it would have weather on it, and it would oxidize to be what we're calling this verdigris finish. There are different people. I don't know, years ago, I'm a lot older than a lot of y'all, but years ago, you used to see verdigris mailboxes. You used to see verdigris finishes on a lot of furniture. And so now we're going back to verdigris is in again. It's very much on trend. So you can create this finish on a gorgeous metal cocktail table with a glass top. You can do it on a whole lot of different things. I just wanted to be able to show you how to create it on hardware. Here's something else I wanted you to know. Those of you that are familiar, and if you haven't, you need to research him more, but Frank Lloyd Wright, a famous architect, he loved copper. And he used copper a lot on the hinges of his furniture, doorknobs, gutters. They're absolutely spectacular. And so you'll see them turn this bronzy color, kind of a darker bronzy color. And we're going to go through that process. I know, Shannon, is it not spectacular? I am definitely a Frank Lloyd Wright fan. So you'll see these from time to time. You may see feet on a little table that has started to oxidize, and you see this verdigris finish on it. And that's what I want to show you how to be able to recreate today. There's so many different kinds of verdigris finishes, but I'm going to be showing you one that I think is truest to the form that we're going to see and that what we need to be emulating. So y'all don't want to hear me yap, but I do want to say this. Share this video, tag some good friends that you know that are DIYers and that would love this finish, and your name's going to go in for a drawing because we have a giveaway every week. So just share this video on your Facebook page, and your name will go in for a drawing. We'll draw it. We'll make the announcement of the winner on Monday, and I'm going to be including a lot of the products that I'm teaching you how to do today. But we have a sale going on. Those of you that you don't know, if you go over to the Amy Howard at Home site, everything on the website is 25% off. Everything. That's pretty great. So now you can get your supplies to be able to create this finish. All right, so let's get started. Are you ready? I'm going to turn this around, and please, really and truly, as you pop on here, hey, Dr. Stacy. Oh my gosh, Gretchen, I love that idea to be able to do it on brass candlesticks. Oh, yeah, yes, I love that. I love that idea. As you pop on here too, tell me, what would you use this finish on? Or ask me, Amy, can I use this finish on that? And I'll go over that with you. So let me turn this around. Let's see. I'm going to turn this around like this, so that way you guys can see. All right, so now I'm just starting with some regular, oh, totally, Tish. Would that not be spectacular on some light fixtures? Do you not love that? So there are going to be degrees of the oxidation process when you're creating a really pretty verdigris finish. So this is just starting with a regular brass hardware piece. Now, of course, with everything when I'm working on a project, it's really good to go on and clean it with clean slate. Let's get everything off. I'm going to go on and put my gloves on to protect my nails. I've never done that. I usually go around and just have paint under my nails all the time, but I'm growing up. It's time. All right, so now I'm going to be starting with the one-step paint. So I want to show you. I just want to show you the can because there are going to be other people that are going to see this. A lot of people don't realize that our one-step paint, it has a couple of different reasons why I want you to use it on hardware. One, it adheres beautifully to hardware. You don't have to prime it. You don't have to do anything to it. You don't have to put anything on here for this paint to adhere. The other thing is, it allows you to be able to get this really gorgeous flat matte finish to be able to create this verdigris finish. And I cannot use things like milk paint and glazing liquid and things on top of metal unless I have first put the one step on. So I'm going to go on and just use an artist brush. The color that I'm using was named after Gene Howard. It's a good man. It's hard to find. And I have stirred it up. One thing, a lot of you, if you've not had our paints before, the good stuff, the really thick pigment is down at the bottom. So make sure that you stir this up really good when you get ready to start your projects. Oh, you're so sweet, Gretchen. Thank you. All right, so I'm just going to go on, and I want you to see the coverage is pretty amazing. I don't want you to put up with ugly hardware. I want you to know that you can very easily paint it. And the great thing about it is this is a water-based paint. And yes, it is going to adhere to metal. So look at that. I just want you to be able to see the coverage is pretty fabulous. And Danny, yes, it is the one-step paint. The one-step paint can be used on all kinds of metal, definitely your hardware. So it's going to allow you to be able to upscale your hardware really fast and really easy. All right, so now I have one already done. So after, it only takes about 30, 40 minutes for this to dry. So once that's dry, this is what your hardware is going to look like. So now I'm going to go to my next step. A lot of you may not know this, but our glazing liquid, this is my glazing liquid. If I can turn that, it's kind of hard. See if there's a glazing liquid over in the cabinet, and I just want to show them the label. Having the glazing liquid, guys, I want you to be able to see, it's kind of a milky consistency. The glazing liquid allows you to be able to take mica powders and pigments and make them into paints. How fabulous is that? So you may not realize it, but it does allow you a lot of versatility. This is a fantastic product. It has been our best seller in our line for a very long time. And I just think it's important that I show you kind of the diversity of them, but also what are they used for. So the glazed over is what it's called, allows you to be able to mix with paint. You can mix it with the one step, you can mix it with milk paints, but I like mixing it with the mica powders and pigments to be able to make the paint. So let's go on. I'm going to take a container here. Let me come up just a little so that way you can see. And I've just got a plastic spoon. I'm going to put just a little bit of this glazed over into my container. Make sure you stir up the glazed over because it will settle. It'll have a tendency to settle at the bottom. So now I'm going to take, the name of this is called Chocolate Pearl. It's a chocolate pearl mica. And guess what? All I have to do is take this chocolate pearl mica, put it into my glazed over, and I have metallic paint. Now, let's mix this up. It's almost like a cooking show, isn't it? Look at that. Can you see? How fab is that? So now, I'm going to take my piece of hardware. The first step that we did, we painted it in A Good Man Is Hard to Find. If you want to add a little bit of black to it, it'll darken it up just a little bit. Now, I'm going to come back and I'm going to paint this bronze mica that we've done over it. Now, what it does, this warms this up. The Good Man primed the surface. It allowed us to be able to get rid of the brass or whatever it is that we're working on. So if you want to do an old lamp in this finish, you definitely could. Or a lantern, you can definitely do any. You can do this on a piece of furniture. It doesn't have to be on metal if you don't want it to be. All right, so now that is adding the mica with the glazed over. So let's dry this real quick. Hang with me. All right, so I just wanted you to see what that looked like. And as it starts to set up, I want you to come. Yes, it can't, Charlotte, it can be applied to plastic. Here's what's so great. Now, Randy, I would not use this outside, and you're going to see in just a minute. This is really better indoors. The part of the reason why it allows us to be able to apply to plastic, remember with the one-step paint, we can use it on resin, we can use it on metal, we can use it on wood, we can use it on laminate, all those type of things. So that's why go to the thrift store and get things, because the one-step paint allows you to be able to create any number of looks. So I'd like for you, before this totally sets up, just go through with some 4/0 steel wool and pull out the Good Man Is Hard to Find from underneath. So that way we've got a two-tone effect going on. Now, let me get a fresh sheet. I'm going to switch this out because I want you to be able to see what we're doing. And this is dried. This is what I had done to this earlier. So now I'm ready for the next step. So as you pop on here, say hey, be sure and share this video, because we always do drawings. If you share the video, your name goes in for a drawing, and we give away free stuff, how to create this finish, and we'll announce the winner on the Amy Howard at Home page on Facebook on Monday. So who knows, you might be the lucky winner. The other thing is we do have a sale going on. Everything on Amy Howard at Home is 25% off through Monday. So you want to take advantage of that. We only do that twice a year. So it's a real opportunity for you to be able to take advantage of that. All right, so now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go back to our glazed over here. And I'm going to stir this up. I'm going to take my spoon again and put just a little bit in my dish. So now we're going to go to Riviera Blue. Now look at this. This is where I'm wanting you to see. This is where we're able to get our Verdigris color. This is very important because it's hard to get this color any other way if you are wanting it to look like a true Verdigris. Let me clean my brush out here. So I'm going to take a little bit of this pigment. And I'm going to mix this up in my glazed over. Now, it's up to you as far as the consistency of it. I'm working right now more on color, but I want you to see about the consistency of it. Look how I hold that up. Can you see as far as how long it's taking for that to kind of drip? I want it fairly thick. So this is one that I had actually done yesterday. It's kind of set up just a little bit. If you put a lid on top of this, this is good for several weeks. It'll allow you to be able to get a really gorgeous finish. All right, so now I'm going to load my brush up, and I'm going to come on top of this Now, watch me, because this is not what you think. I'm going to load this up everywhere, get it all over where I'm wanting to put this finish. And all this is my pigment and my glazed over. Now, are you ready? I'm going to come back to my pigment, and let me clean the brush out. I've just cleaned this out. I'm going to dab this with my rag just a little bit. And now I'm going to come back with my pigment. And I'm going to start to lay the pigment into the wet glaze. So let me tell you, this does two things. And this is something that a lot of times artists, when you see things, they're not going to tell you what caused it or what did it, because they just like having their secrets. But what it does is it starts to, let me show you, it starts to gum this up. Do you see this? You start to build this up, and you can have this gorgeous texture from it. This is very synonymous with when you would see an actual verdigris finish. It's the oxidation of the copper, and as it's starting to turn. So Randy, your question, how do you soften the brightness of the blue? You can definitely just come back. I would probably come back with maybe just a little bit, if you want to soften that color, a little bit of Venetian brown and a little bit of noir. These I really suggest, and we have these on sale, and it would be a good thing for you to have in your DIY pantry. Just order the pigment pack. That way you get the pigments, because you can use them with your milk paints. You can mix them with your metallics. But to be honest with you, Randy, if you're going to be going for a really pretty authentic verdigris finish, this is what it's going to be. And I'll show you how you can pull that back in just a minute. I just want to be able to continue to show you here. So I'll come back after I've laid on that first coat. I'll come back, and I am literally patting it to where it's kind of starting to gum up, because that's how I want it to dry. I want to see a little bit of the lighter and the darker. And it's going to dry down to where you'll have a variation of about 3 or 4 different colors of the blues. But I'm wanting to build this up. Are you starting to see what's starting to happen? And I love these vertical handle finishes on cerused oak pieces. I love them on really light color gray and cream milk paint finishes. It's absolutely fabulous. So now, after we've applied that all over like this, what we want to do is we want to allow it to be able to dry, but then we're going to come back and we're going to take some 4/0 steel wool, which is right here. And I'm going to pull it through just a little bit, because I want to bring that bronze back out. Now, I will tell you, I like this a lot. I like how heavy it is on the ends. And as it starts to dry down, it's going to go a little bit, it's going to change. It's going to be a warmer color. So let me show you. This is dried overnight. Do you see the difference? This one is still wet. And look how it's dried down. See how it's going to go a little bit lighter? But it truly is a spectacular finish to be able to have on your furniture. And I love the idea that we could put this on lanterns. We can put this on more simple finishes that are, to me, that need the verdigris to just really pop. That's why I showed you, I wanted you to be able to see it like on just a very simple cerused oak finish. See how spectacular that is? And if you want the warmer final effect is perfect. I think if you were here and I was able to show you, I think you would say the same thing. Because here's the deal. If you want to have a little less verdigris, then just come back with your 4/0 steel wool and pull that through. but I don't want you to lose the crustiness of adding that to your hardware. So the other thing is, I want to turn this around really quick. I want to be able to see you. Here's the other thing. I wanted to keep it short and simple, but on point. The fact that I want you to realize, paint your hardware. Create gorgeous finishes on your hardware. Gild your hardware. Acid wash your hardware. You can gild it. You can do the acid washing on top of it. You can use pigments. You can do your mica powders. Your hardware, usually when I rescue a piece of furniture, I would say 9 times out of 10, I am not a fan of the hardware. It's cheap hardware. And Danny, you know the color is, I don't seal, or the thing is, I don't seal it. I don't have to seal it. I've put the One Step on. Once this dries down in, a lot of people don't realize, but the glazed over is varnish. So that way, when I've got my mica powders, when I've got my pigments down into this, it's set. That's why I do not want you to use this outdoors. This is a better indoor finish. Stacy, hold on just a second. Can you use milk paint instead of pigment? Hold on. No, it will not work the same. The other thing is the process of the milk paint and the way it's put together, the pungency of the color is not going to be as pretty as if you're going to be using the pigment. The pigment in the glazed over, you're making a paint. If you put a milk paint into the glazed over, it's a watered down version. I need this pungent. I need it to be a gorgeous color. I need to be able to get that patina that's going to really make sure that my furniture sells. Then I've got to use the pigment. So I don't want you to be afraid of pigments, not you necessarily. Dr. Stacy, I don't think you're afraid of them, but other people that are out there, I wanted you to see you can take your micas and your pigments and make paints with them. I can have gold mica, copper mica, bronze mica, mix it with the glazed over and paint it on anything. So think about all the things that you need to do, but don't forget, go back, watch the beginning of this video. You've got to start with the One Step. The One Step primes it all. The One Step protects it. It's adhering to it. And then that way you can complement it by adding the things on top of it that's going to make it look beautiful. So don't forget the hardware. It's the jewelry to the piece of furniture or the cabinet or the door or anything that you're going to do. I can't wait to see your comments. What would you use this finish on? And how are some things that you could maybe go to Home Depot, get a very inexpensive lantern or something that you could put indoors and do this finish on it? It would look fantastic. Take advantage of our sale through Monday. Everything on Amy Howard at Home, only twice a year, is 25% off, and you can get the products that I've got here today to go around and create some beautiful things, so that way you too can enjoy the bragging rights. Have a fantastic Friday, everybody, and a great weekend. Love you guys.